My name is Liz Moynihan, and I have the privilege of being director of a lovely college down in Kinsale. And like Maureen and IT Sligo, we too have been on a UDL journey which has really been very beneficial for our staff and for our students. So my first slide, and I'm not going to show it today because I'm conscious of time, but maybe in your own time, you might have a look. I'd like to have a look at it, and it really would the video will just, it's a few minutes in length. It just gives you a picture of the happy, clappy, warm, caring place that we have called Kinsale College of Further Education, and to give you an idea of what we were like before COVID-19, and how we were so linked with human interaction, and how that was just such a key part of everything we did at the college. So I then want to move on and just tell you a little bit about the college, about the type of supports and the type of college we have. So we have 280 students, and they range from age 18 to 80. So we have quite a diverse population of students. This year's batch of students come from a total of 15 countries all around the world. So they're not just students from Ireland, but from various parts of Europe as well. And many of our students have additional learning needs, and they are either diagnosed or undiagnosed. And we get to know them pretty quickly once they enroll and they start the course with us, and we do our best to support them, again, with the UDL type of delivery. So last year we had a really exciting project at the college. We rolled out cutting edge educational technology from Microsoft to all our staff and students. It was a huge project where every one of our teaching staff were given a Microsoft Surface Code device, and for their own use to enhance teaching and learning in their classroom. And as well as that, it involved them uploading the content, video content and notes to a central server, so all our students could access this as part of our UGL process. Our teachers really embraced this new technology and began to make maximum use of it to enhance the student engagement and learning. We had 4 what we call digital ambassador in the college, and they were trained by a company called Wriggle in Dublin, and those 4 ambassadors in turn trained small groups of teachers on how to use the devices. Because you might think when you're listening here this afternoon that we were some sort of whiz kids, or that we were very digitally smart in Kinsale College. We were not. My own digital literacy is very weak. We all admit that we were all at a very poor level, but what we did know is that this Microsoft route could help our students, and we were willing to do anything to help our students. But I suppose little did we know when we had that Microsoft, what a valuable tool it was going to be for us in a short number of months. When the virus hit Central Europe in late February, we were just about to send a group of students to Italy, imagine, on an Erasmus placement. This was cancelled, of course, like many other planned events and trips. So soon we had to turn our attention to the whole new scenario, and that was the prospect of having to continue our courses remotely. Our first thought was, how in the name of God were we going to stay connected with our students? We were closed like everybody else on a Thursday, really without warning. And we were thinking about our students, but we were most concerned about our students who find academic work challenging for various reasons. How were we going to continue to support them when we could no longer meet them? Our Microsoft technology gave us access to the Teams meeting platform, but when the COVID lockdown happened, we hadn't used them very often. To be honest, I had never been on Zoom or Teams ever before. I hadn't heard of Zoom. I just about heard the Teams, let alone use them. So we decided to throw ourselves in at the deep end. We had no choice, and we had our first ever virtual staff meeting on the 18th of March. This was the beginning of our journey of collaboration to help our students continue to benefit from further education, though our college gates were locked. Sharing became the order of the day with our staff and our students. We shared resources, we shared tips and experiences. We set up procedures to ensure that our most vulnerable students got the help that they needed. We continue to hold virtual staff meetings once a week where we shared our learnings and our concerns for aspect of our students' learning and assessments. We also had care team meetings. Our personal assistants attended the meetings every week, which were invaluable. The personal assistants were invaluable to the whole process of supporting the students. And we had management meetings, and we had weekly faculty meetings as well as a college. So we continued our virtual hand holding. Our staff had regular phone calls, had regular virtual team meetings, both individually and as groups, and as teaching on teams. They taught collectively in groups, but sometimes they might have had students who might have needed one-to-one help, or a small group that might, and they would do a separate teams meeting with them. And this gave our students an opportunity to ask questions about something that was bothering them. It gave them a bit of guidance about how to tackle an assignment, or even just encouragement along the way. Sometimes we had students who were just literally willing to give up and drop out and say, look, I've had enough, I've enough going on, I can't do this. And a little bit encouragement from another human being at the other side of the phone, or another face at the other side of teams, helped them along the way. And the main thing is that our students are our equals, and we continue to treat them with respect. And I think that helped them along this very challenging journey. So we put a special effort into connecting and maintaining regular contact with our students with disabilities. Our personal assistants had separate weekly meetings where they had to monitor the progress of their students, each of whom was allocated to the care of one assistant. We had one particular student who was a student on the autistic spectrum. He lives independently, but he absolutely hates change and uncertainty. And we knew that the pandemic would cause him huge anxiety. One day in the early weeks of the lockdown, his internet connection stopped working. This would have triggered a huge reaction if he hadn't been in daily phone calls with his personal assistant. She was able to sort it out within a couple of hours, and he was back up online. There has been several other stories and cases similar to that, which meant that the daily contact from the college, from Kinsale College, meant that our students were supported, and it made a huge difference to our vulnerable students as we continued to try and provide education remotely. So our teachers have provided the virtual classrooms using Teams and platforms, and all of our teachers were offered support and CPD in order to learn how to use Zoom and how to use Teams so that they could use it for the benefit of their students. And so they continued, our teachers continued to teach them on Teams and on Zoom. So our next problem was we had to encourage all of our students as well to upskill. All of our students were lucky enough to have access to Office 365, but they weren't able to use it as well as they should. So we had to provide them with one-to-one assistance. So some of our digital ambassadors took the students separately and helped them with IT issues that they had. We also used an external IT company who would literally log into the students' computers at home and solve any IT issues that they had in order to get them back working and engaged their assignments as quickly as possible. And they were hugely appreciative of having those aids and those supports at the other side of the phone. And we text our students weekly to say, anyone with IT issues this week, please ring this number. The next part of our support for our students was how were we going to support them remotely with counselling. In the college, we offer counselling to all of our students. And we're conscious that millions of people around the world, that the whole pandemic was very challenging for them. So we offered them an opportunity to do counselling on Teams for our students. And we send out a weekly reminder from Inspire, which was counselling support for all of our students and staff to ensure that our staff, who are now in a very caring type of delivery of education, were also getting the supports that they required. Another thing that we felt that worked really, really well, and it kind of happened by accident, was the virtual coffee morning, because we realised the social dimension of the workplace and our college life and life in Kinsale College is really good for mental health. And with this in mind, we encouraged our staff and our students to arrange a virtual coffee break where they would take time to chat with each other and support each other in these uncertain times. We then had the problem that we had to modify our assessment for each course, and that was very challenging for our teachers, but the modules have now been completed and virtually all the marks have been submitted to the QBS system. And so at this stage, and the assessment deadlines have been reached by the students, which has been a huge thanks to our staff in order to achieve this. I suppose at the other end, the college, the admin work, the marketing, all of that work had to continue happening at the college. And again, we use the Teams platform to keep in touch and to keep up to date, to make sure that the daily admin jobs and normal routine of the jobs of paying invoices, etc., were carried on by the office as well. So again, we use the virtual platforms for that. I'm extremely proud of the way our staff and students have worked together in the last few months. I'm just looking over the last few days at the results coming in, and our retention rates are just a percentage or two lower than our percentage rates in some subjects, and in some subjects they're equal to the retention rates of last year. And I think that's a tremendous achievement, and I think it's a tremendous achievement for the very hard work of the teachers and of the personal assistants and the staff put in on the ground just to make sure that nobody was left behind and that we supported everybody along this journey. I'm very, very proud of our staff to have done this. The time has been really, really challenging, but everybody has worked together. It hasn't been easy. We've had stressful days, we've had bad days, we've had challenging days, but we kept at it because our ultimate goal was to provide education to the 280 students who had placed their trust in us by enrolling in our college. So that's just a little glimpse of how Kinsale College attempted to support our students remotely during COVID-19. So thank you very much.
My God. Liz, thank you so much. I think that people are really responding to your energy and your passion in that presentation, and that's really support that you're giving students within that time, and how it's so apparent that you've pushed yourself, and all of the team working in Kinsale have really taken Microsoft, that Office 365 solution, and really figured out how to merge it with the students and really come up with practical solutions to deal not only with students and everyday problems, but especially in this COVID situation. So it's been amazing. It's been really inspiring to hear that. I don't think I've actually heard someone talk about the Office 365 in education in a real kind of down-to-earth kind of way. I think you're the first presenter who's kind of ever done that with me. So first of all, I've learned loads in it. So thank you very much. And I think as well, your topic connects with the theme of today, so superbly, about developing those inclusive cultures. And we're seeing Office 365 in so many institutions and organizations, but that, I think you're the first person I've said who's really, linked that inclusive kind of approach that you can take with Office 365 and make it a very real solution and make it very manageable. And that, you don't have to be tech savvy. You just have to have the perspiration and the grit just to kind of stick with it and make it real. And I love the retention information that you spoke about as well. I mean, that's when the work pays off, when you see that happening. Okay, so I'm just going to stop talking. I'm going to bring in Christine, and Christine will discuss and highlight some of the questions throughout. So thanks again, Liz. That was fantastic.
Great job, Liz. Thanks so much. God, I have to say, I feel tired after hearing all the work you're doing. It's absolutely phenomenal. But I wrote down a couple of things that you were saying, and you'll see the comments afterwards are there's a great love for you there. But it's really that caring social aspect of being remote is so important. Like, I want to go. Can I sign up for Kinsale College? I think I really love that. It's so human centered. And I know I've had the fantastic opportunity to go down to Kinsale College, and to I've even tried the lovely yogurt that the students had made there, and it was absolutely lovely to see the facilities that you guys have there. So to be without them and to be so resilient and supportive is phenomenal, and to have that retention rate even better. But enough from me. So Liz, I think we have so a few comments and questions. I know that you'll maybe take a few moments to go through all of the nice, lovely comments. I won't go through all of them at the moment, but Margaret Moran has asked how she wants to know, how are you planning your timetable for September in the context of the restrictions?
Well, to be honest, our results are in for today, our IV and externs are in next week. So I'm it's so fluid, it's so uncertain. We have no plan. We've loads of questions like everybody else and no answers at the moment. So it's just kind of wait and see where we're at, I suppose. And I suppose we'll wait for advice. And but I mean, we're doing everything else that we would normally do at this time of year. We had to cancel our open date was scheduled in April because we were closed. So there's certain things that they couldn't go ahead, but our online applications are open for September. So it's a wait and see. It's like every education institution in the country, it's a wait and see. And there's loads of questions with very little answers at the moment. So
yeah. Well, I'd say no doubt. I mean, your staff are so well equipped now with the technology. I wonder, maybe people will start to be thinking in your staff about if they could provide a blended approach if that happened. Yes,
yeah, and at least now we've 3 months to plan. Where the 12th of February we had it all had to happen overnight, and we got the notice was at 12 o'clock at midday, and we were closed at 6 o'clock. That was it. And so at least there's some time now, and we I'm sure. Look, we're very resilient people. We're very creative people. Everything can be sorted. If there's a will, there's a way. I'm sure there's a way that all colleges of further education can provide education to the students who want to go there to their colleges. So look, we'll see what happens. I would just love in September to be back in the college and be able to have the human interaction with all of our students. But if we can't do that, we'll do something else.
Absolutely, and definitely you're getting across that human element online, as much as possible anyway now with your current students. So it's still very much possible there, and it's a shining example, hopefully, to the rest of FET that are linking in here with us today. And I know that a few of them have kind of just wanted to commend you as well on your efforts. But I think that is, there's just a lot of praise. And I mean, I can read out a few of them. They're just people saying about the passion, the intensity of your work. They're just saying, fantastic and passionate leadership, Liz. And then as well as that, just saying about, how important it is to have that virtual coffee morning as well. It's a great idea. Just lovely little initiatives that bring about just that extra time to just have a chat, and that's where maybe something might come out of it. It's fantastic. It's really, really lovely. Thank you so much, Liz.